Greetings everyone. It's not the best light in the world in here today, but we're going to have a go at another watch build. This one's going to be a turtle, and these are the bits. We've got some nice hands. So there's an orange and black second hand, and the main hands are silver with a green loom. Got really quite a beautiful blue face. Really quite like that, I have to say. And there's a sort of I don't know how to put it really. It's more Rodexy than Seiko-y in the font, if you like, round this bezel. But it's got the extra dots, which kind of distinguishes it from the Rodexy version. I've got a Milanese strap, which I'm a big fan of. We'll see how that goes on the Captain Willard case, which is got a sort of a flat piece where the case accepts the strap, so you can't use you know, a rubber strap that has or any strap for that matter that has a sculpting in it to go up against, you know, a rounded case like an SKX or a samurai. So we've got the Captain Willard, got 36 movement with a day and a date, and yeah, let's get it together. So the first job's going to be taking the lugs off the dial, and for a Captain Willard this is a 4.1 crown. So the crown is, well, you can see it there in the case. If we flip the dial over, this is a 3-lug affair, which means that it'll sit into, if we snip the correct pieces off, it'll sit in to a 3 o'clock crowned movement at the required 4.1, provided we leave the lugs that are nearest 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock on the dial. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to snip the non 3 o'clock and 9 o'clocks off. So there, 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 and there. You can see we've got a few little bits to file off. Use one of my favourite files, either the square one or the triangular one. I quite like the triangular one. It seems to be the best for this. Leaves the least amount of scratches on the back of the dial, and it is inevitable that we get some, as you can see. It's only a thin scouring of paint on there. Yeah, that's nice, and just gonna sort of file it away from the 3 o'clock window. Okay. Have a look, see how bent these lugs are. That's fine. So I'll just clean that off with Rodica and what have you, so we don't leave any dust in the movement as we put it on, and I'll clean that thing. We don't need that for a minute anyway, because we're going to have the movement in. we're going to put a little friend the movement in so that our window is at 3 o'clock and our crown is at 4:10. And there it is. That's gone in very nicely. I'm just going to put the case over that just to make sure. So we'll put that over it. Oh, look at that. It's correct. Amazing. We've had a few tears and a bit of swearing in previous attempts, having found that we'd got dars with 2 lugs on and things like that. And anyway, I'm sure you all have seen that in the black Captain Willard edition. So this one's going to be the first build where it actually works. Well, I say that. Let's see if we don't make any cock-ups on the way through this one. But the next job will be to pop the hands on. So I'll just take them out of the bag. Okay, so I've put the hands on that mat. We'll put the face protector on. We can see 12 o'clock. The hands are, I was going to say the hands are all the right way up. This one isn't the one that we're going for. I'll put that the right way up first. That is the right way up. And yeah, I'll pick it up with my left hand and I will put it over the pinion with my pusher downer. Just move that round to 12 o'clock. Oh, what I've neglected to do in actual fact is set the, put that back, take that off. Cock-ups are abound already. So we just want to set this to 12 o'clock, midnight, boom, we are set. Put my protector back on, line it up to 12 o'clock. Get the hand back on. Overdone it. See if we can just sort of wiggle it a bit with the, yeah. That's pretty good, isn't it? So that's on. Just going to get a thinner poker and give that a bit more. Let's give it a bit more. That's good. Yep, she's working. Just have a look, see how angled it is. So I'm just looking from the side. I'm going to push it down a little bit from the back. So it pops up a little. I'm going to pop it down a bit from the front so it goes down a bit. So yeah, I'd say that's about perfect actually. If we wind it, yeah, it's not, it's catching the protector, but it's not going to catch the face. Yeah, that's perfect. Turn that back round, line that up, that's good. And then we'll put the minute hand on. holes get ever smaller. Just gonna see if it'll push on a little, and we'll move it round. That's it. Just line it up absolutely spot on. That is spot on. And then we'll push it down gently, gently. Give it a wiggle. Okay. Yep, it's on. It's maybe a little near the hours. We'll just push it back at the back a bit. All right. I'm just going to take that off now, and yeah. I think I have messed up by not pressing the hour hand down hard enough. So I'm going to have to nip them both off and start again, which is going to necessitate me just lifting the hands off using my hand lifter and a little bit of plastic. I'll just go and fetch some plastic. Okay, I've got some plastic. So I'm glad they're at 12 o'clock, because actually when you're using those hand things or levers, you want to be away from the writing as much as possible, because you don't want to rub any of the writing off. Don't really want to scratch the surface at all, hence the plastic. And it's not that easy. You know, one's going to need to be quite light in terms of touch and feel. So, a quick slug of coffee, and we'll just do that. So the plastic's over. The things are in position. There we go. That's that. Face doesn't look too bad. There is a little bit of a couple of spots of dust and stuff on. What we've been wandering about. Should still be at 12 o'clock. It's not moved on at all. So we'll turn this hand over and have another go. Have another go. Okay. So our hand. I will put the protector back on, because I think I just need to, once it is on, I just need to get the protector off in order to sort of push it down properly. It's not quite located yet. I felt like it might be. Get a pusher with a bigger hole for this one. No, it's not playing ball yet. I like to just sort of push it on a little bit. There we are. It's just pushed on a little bit now. And then we'll just want to line it up. 12 o'clock. Yep. Where's my... Yeah, that's good. Right, now I'll take the protector off to make sure it's a bit further down the pinion. There is a bit of a dichotomy in doing this, which is that, you know, it wants to be low on the face and down the pinion, but it doesn't want to be so far down the pinion, that is a bit far, that it doesn't go round. Thankfully, this hand, you know, doesn't actually have feels as if it's a bit, I don't know, it's probably an optical illusion now, but it looks like it's on a bit sideways. Yeah, no, it is an optical illusion because the other side looks like it's on sideways now. It's where I'm looking at that through my beautiful. That's absolutely fine, isn't it? Just double check that you're looking at that all okay. That's fine. Right, there's quite a long way down the pinion. It's worth showing you that, actually. Whether it's going to focus enough. I'll see if I can put my magnifying glass over it for you. You can see how far down the pinion that is and how close to the face the hour hand is there. And it's quite close now. But it's going round a treat, so there's no problem with that. I want a very good pair of hand levers though, for the next time somebody takes those hands off, because they are quite close. That one is quite a bit close to the thing. I'm just going to put this protector back on. Be interesting to see if the protector will slide under this hour hand actually. It's going to struggle. That'll do. Don't have to go all the way in. Just going to line this this minute hand up with the hour hand. I'm going to get a slightly thinner prodder so that we don't bend it in the process. Don't know if that's on. Don't think it is on, to be honest. So rock it back and forward and side to side. See where we come to. It's in the right place. I don't know why it's not. Just not quite locating. Try a different one of those. So that's So the only snag with that is we've kind of, it's not really gone on very well. We've definitely just caused a little bit of bend in the hand just by pressing quite firmly on the rods to set it up. So, well, let's have another go at putting it on. Make sure it is. Make sure that you can still see that. I'm still pressing on quite hard to try and get that on. I don't like it. Don't like doing that at all. It's a real bugger, that is. It's just is that on that pinion? Fucking hell. Come here, you bastard. Fuck's sake. What's going on there? It's just not going onto it, is it? Fuck. It's not loving that at all. It seems though. Oh, well, I don't know, it felt as if it lifted then as I was, even as I took the, yeah, it did. That's weird, isn't it? Not loving that. It feels as if that second hand is kind of not working. No. Yeah, it feels as if it's kind of quite potently on the pinion. That certainly felt as if it went onto the pinion. What we're struggling with now, of course, is it is just a little bit bent, that hand, so we're going to have to... Yeah, it is right down the pinion. I can see now that that's fine. What's not fine is the fact that it is just a little bit bent. So... I'm going to have to lift it, unbend it there. Doesn't really need very much doing to it to unbend it. Likewise for the back. It seems to be. That's pretty good. I think with all that fucking about though, it's kind of put it out of line, hasn't it? Misaligned it. So what we'll have to do is bring it round to 12 o'clock and twist it on its pinion. I'll go for the date and just make sure that the Yeah, so it's still clicking over at midnight on there. I want just going to put this where I want it and make sure that you can still see. Just want my that's fine. Just feels quite loose in that second hand does feel a bit loose on the pinion, but they're normally a bit tougher than that to move round. But it's doing it, isn't it? So I'll put that to 11 o'clock. I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a good old shake and see if, yeah, there we go. It came off. That was worth doing, wasn't it? So I gave that a good shake and it's fallen off, that particular hand. So I might have to go and find another hand to use in conjunction with this. Bear with me while I go and find something appropriate. So I've taken those other hands off and scrapped them. The minute was stuffed. I had put the hour hand on too low, so it was just a case of start again. Good morning, and it is morning actually. The light's very good in here, albeit I can see it reflecting a bit on the glass of the case. So I'll try and do something about that as we go along. But if you'll remember, and you will remember because this will get cut into a video obviously, we were looking at this Captain Willard with the 4.1 dial. So the dial at, 4.1 crown. So the crown, I keep saying dial, the crown in the dial is at 4.1 down here. And the issue that we had is that the movement, the 36 movement, which is the day date, for a 3 o'clock movement, when we tried to set that at the 4.1, what happened was the window sat between two iterations of the day and didn't show us a date correctly. So we know now that we can use a standard 3 o'clock movement on both 3 o'clock position crowns, as you might expect, but also 3.8. But what we can't do is use it on these 4.1s, which are the Turtles and Captain Willards. So I've ordered and received a load of 4.1 36s. With a 35, it doesn't matter because the day number is a big enough circle, if you like, to allow the date to show in all of the window boxes for just a date movement, just the number. But when we get into day dates, it becomes important, and one has to buy the correct movement, which we found out halfway through this build. So there was a little learning point for us. So I have returned, and I've popped the I've actually popped the dial on, albeit it still needs pushing down a little. It's a little high at the 9 o'clock end, so that will go in at some point. We'll have a jiggle with that in a moment. I was trying to decide what hands to put on, and I think I've settled on those, which is kind of the sort of Seiko, one of the Seiko divers standards. The other sort of Seiko divers standard, obviously, is that iteration there of the minute hand. There is an hour hand there, it's upside down, or this would be the same affair in blue. I had a look at that against the dial, and it was kind of, there were too many different blues. It didn't suit. These are sort of Omega, the modern Omega style. I've been dying to use them, and they would look good on this one. But it's my first silver Captain Willard. It's my first Captain Willard, actually, and I just like having an extra colour. So this one's going to be silver hour, red minutes, and a silver second hand. And hopefully that's going to look quite nice. I sort of, oh dear, I sort of toyed with doing this one. God, everything is a complete fuck up all the time, isn't it? But there we go. Thankfully, most of the parts are robust enough for me to piss about with like this. And it doesn't really matter. But anyway, well, I suppose we'll get on with the build. You saw me putting the face last time onto the dial that didn't work. So it's now onto this 4.1, onto the movement that didn't work. It's now onto this 4.1 movement, and it does work. There's a bit of dust about, so I'll have to fetch that off. And then we'll just get on with casing it up. I've got a nice Milanese strap for it. And apart from that, I guess the only other things to note about this particular build are that the crystal is domed, which allows us to put a sloping bezel on. This is obviously the sort of, the Rolex Submariner styly, albeit Submariners don't have these extra dots around generally. I believe that there was something in the 60s where they did do that, but they don't do it these days. So it just looks a bit different. I like it, and we'll crack on. So it's a case of just need to press the face down onto the movement. It's the lug on that side, it's not actually in. But I thought I'd try and give you something different to look at, because all of these watch builds are a bit the same, aren't they? So this is the hand pusher tool that I put the hands on with, and you'll see that it's got different sizes of hole to allow the pinions from the movement to go up the middle of the push, as it were. And the critical thing about that is to get the hole sort of right sized. So it wants a wider hole when you're putting the hour hand on, because the pinions are wider as they go down. So the hour hand is the widest, the minute hand is the next, and the second hand is the smallest. The key thing being that if you have too big a hole, it doesn't press the hand down in the correct manner to prevent it from bending. So basically, if you use too big a hole, you risk bending the hand that you're putting on, which I've done many times. I've scrapped a couple of sets of hands so far, having built maybe 12 builds. That's quite a high rate of attrition in terms of hands, I think. As I get more practiced, hopefully the scrapping of hands is going to become rarer and rarer and my stats will get better. But we'll see. They are robust but delicate is the simple truth of it. So let me stuff this dial down into the movement. I've got the movement quite... I probably ought to wear these, finger things, but the reality of it is that they're a bit numb, and what I'd rather do is finger the dial and clean it later, which you must always do after you've been fingering things. And there it is. So that's down and secure. The face is now secure in the movement, so we can move to putting the hands on. I'll pick up the face protector. I suppose one of the additional bonuses with the face protector is actually, in terms of locating the hour hand, you can press it a bit too far down on the pinion, and it then sort of scrapes itself around the dial and will leave a mark on the dial. So it's not a case of stuffing the hour hand down as hard as you possibly can. It is a case of, having it firmly on the pinion and far enough down the pinion that it doesn't impede on on the minute hand when you put that on. But equally, you don't want it so far down that it becomes a problem. By scraping itself around the thing. So just put the hour hand over there. Sorry, minute hand. This is the hour hand. It is the correct way up, which is a miracle. They almost always are the incorrect way up for me. You can probably just see that the underside of it's got a bit of a lip on it, and that's really designed to hold it off the face. But actually, the reality is that doesn't always work. So I'm going to pick up the middle hole. This is good for the hour hand. It's the middle-sized hole in the kit that I've got. And necessarily what I've done here is I've got ahead of myself and I haven't wound the date round to 12 o'clock. So I don't really know what I'm doing now. I'm about to put that hand on, and it could be, I was obviously going to line it up to 12 o'clock, but we don't know whether it's at 12, at 12 o'clock. So I'm just going to wind this round until the date changes. God, you've seen this a million times. Not sure that anybody can be bothered to sit through that again. So there we go, that's changed. So that's good. Put that on there. I'll line that up to 12 o'clock. Although I'm probably going to end up moving it as I put this hand back on. It's just gone a bit awkward. God, that fell down. It's like, you know, toast falling butter side down, and that actually fell the correct way, as it were, which was a miracle. So we can turn it with a bit of friction. Oh, God, another miracle. So the thing to do is actually to kind of get it pressed a little bit, but not very much. So it's sort of slightly stiff on the pinion, and then turn it round to where you want it. So we've achieved that there. Of course, turning it round kind of stiffens. So you don't want to turn it too far because it will just jump off again. I'm just going to turn it so I can see in my eye line. I can maybe just move it the nanometer that it needs. Can I? No. It is literally a nano. Oh God, that's too much, typically. Might use this little pusher thing here. Oh, that's too much the other way. And that's... No, is that perfection? Oh. No, it's not. We haven't achieved nirvana yet with the lining this up. I had a couple of beers last night, but not loads. It's just stiff enough that, you know, giving it a good push is going to take it round to 1 o'clock. You know, when it kind of releases itself, and there we go. That's what's happened. Not quite 1 o'clock. Actually, that's about perfect now. So I'll give that a bit of a push down. What I tend to do is try and just push a little bit more on the short side, you know, to angle it up a bit, and then take it back down. That should be enough. So I've got good. I've not put it on too hard, as you can see. So this is the extra bit of intelligence in this video, if you like, about how hard to put the hands on. That's lined up nicely. I'm very pleased with it, actually. That's good. So I'm not really gonna force that down any further. I can see, yeah, I can see like 1/2 mil of the pinion, of the hour pinion showing above the hand. So that's on far enough, that is. It doesn't need pushing on any further. It's not gonna go anywhere. So I'd say that's kind of in the perfect spot. So we'll lay this hand on. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the hole in the pusher to a bit smaller to cope with the second hand. It's still not the smallest I've got, actually. So we're going to put that one on, which is teeny tiny, for the most sensitive hand, which is obviously the second hand. So let me just see if I can get this on. I felt a bit of a click there. Yeah, that is on. It's not on too hard, so I should be able to swing this round. It's just coming off now. So I'll push it down again, just a little bit. It's on a little bit. If I put that on, I can kind of move it with impunity until it gets to the outer hand. Then it will move the outer hand if I'm not careful. Just want that outer hand lining up gorgeously. Okay, that's about as good as it gets, I think. So we'll push that on. And we're doing the same thing really, is I'm just trying to I'll just get under the microscope. Yep, and I can see that that's nicely racked on there. So let's see if that's all turning. Oh, that looks really beautiful, doesn't it? Okay, so now we'll do the difficult bit, which is putting the second hand on. This is always a bit of a bugger, because the second hand, the hole is 0.2 mil, and it's just a case of lining it up and trying to get it on, which is kind of easier said than done, I have to say. So I've got now like the kind of thing that you might see your grandfather reading the newspaper with, that at distance I can maybe sort of see, not quite, but that's a good sign when you can sort of twist it like that. But no, not on this occasion. You can see that it can take 1 or 2 attempts, even with the magnifying glass. No, I've just swapped it over because I think I'm probably a bit better with the pusher with my right hand in the hand, you know, my actual good hand, as it were. Well, I say that. Fucking. You can see how the second hand wants to bend though if you try and push it a bit too hard. So I do believe that's on. Now I'm going to just give it an extra push, which will do a couple of things. It'll make sure it's on. Looks on. It normally gives you a bit of a firm. It looks on, but it doesn't feel on, to be absolutely honest. It looks to be riding quite high. I'll push the thing in. Oh yeah, it is on. Just doesn't feel on, which would lead me to want to give it a bit of a shake, just to see if it's going to come off. Oh no, it's winding up nicely though. Okay, so we're fine. Does it need a little bit of I'll just pull that out again and stop it, because I think I think, if anything, it's, yeah, it's, I don't think that's really as good as it could be. But yeah, that's feeling. I'm going to use the back of my file actually, just to give it a little bit of a further. All right, looks good now. Looks good, so I can take the face protector off and then we'll have a bit of a wind round. Okay. Beautiful. See what it looks like at 9 o'clock. Well, no complaints. 12:05. It's all right. It's not absolutely perfect, but it seems to line up perfectly on the 5 past. So the question for me really is, well, I'll say that. No, I'd tell you what, it's fine. It is fine. So we'll push that in and we'll just watch the second hand go round. I'm happy with that. I like the colours. I do like the colours. I usually like to have a nice coloured second hand and not just a plain silver, but on this occasion, I'm quite happy with it. I like the red minute hand, and yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. So I'll stop the video and restart it just to help me. But we'll flip it over and take the stem out and do that stem cutting thing. So I've just taken the stem out with my teeth, which again you'll have seen a million times before. You won't have seen, but you'll have heard me telling you about it a million times before. So I'm just going to find somebody's business card. I think we'll have Manuel from Even Bet, and I'll put that down. I'll put that down at sort of 12 o'clock, and we will put the case on over. This is like, you know, the Italians, isn't it? And you don't put the sauce on the pasta, you introduce the pasta to the sauce. And in this scenario, what we're doing is we're introducing the case to the movement. I can then slide that off the table, hold the back of the card and turn it over, and then we're in the frame, aren't we? That looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I'll just take the crown out. Thus. And I will find a new stem. Thus. And we'll put the crown onto the stem. Wants to go on, you know, it wants to, you don't want to be forcing this for fear of threading it. And then I'll stick it in the watch. Just like that. Okay. Le gasket is in there. It feels okay. Oh, it's lined up nicely. That's good. So what I'm going to do is is put the case back on lightly just to ensure that the movement doesn't drop out, while I flip her over, and we'll do the measuring thing. We'll just check that's all winding nicely. It's not quite sitting flush against the chapter ring yet, but I think that will be a function of tightening the case up. Just, yeah, literally 0.5 millimetre if anything, but yeah, so that's in properly now. Wasn't in properly, right. Now it's in properly. So we can turn the boom and keep her going again. And change the date if we want. Lovely. Okay. So that's that. So it's going to be bezel time. Just started and stopped the video for bezel time, which just gives me markers in the putting it together really. So this little job, as you know, is to take that off and put the bezel on. What I'm going to do, of course, before I commit the stem and everything, is whip the movement back out and just make sure that the inside of the glass is clean, and make sure that the face and the hands are clean. I mean, I think they are. I can't see any dust or anything. There might be a little bit of dust actually at 4 o'clock, at about 3 o'clock on the 4 o'clock dial thing. So I'll just drop the face back out and I'll clean that, and I'll just make doubly sure with the I use one of those compressed air canisters and give it a good blast with that, and it generally puts a little bit of moisture into it. And then once you've got a cloth in there and wipe the moisture back out, it comes up like a new pin. So that's the way. I'm just gonna turn the anti-reverse hard against its lock, and then we're going to line the arrow up with the chapter ring. With the mark on the chapter ring, and that's cock on. And then just press that down so that the sticky grips. Yeah, beautiful. That's got a rather pleasing click to it. Beautiful. That's a good looking watch. I knew that'd be a good looking watch, and it really is. So I'll do another little stop start on the video, and then we'll measure up the crown. So use the upside down on the old Captain Willard. Press the just check and see if that's got a bit of a lip on it there. It has. That might make us, you know, if I get the yeah, if I get the vernier calipers on, then I'm going to get a false read, aren't I? So I'll see if I can do it here. Might be the bezel sort of impedes the ability to measure it correctly, but it's telling me to cut it down at 6, and I'm not so sure. Let's have a little whack on the inside. Yeah, it is about 6. Okay, that's the measuring done. So with the back off, we'll remove the crown. That's a little thing. I'll get my friend's card again, and we'll turn that upside down, drop it out. Manuel can go over there for a second while I prepare to clean the face. Well, I might just do the face first. Only thing is, at this juncture, it's actually turning, you know. So so you have to take your opportunity when you can, when the second hand's out of the way, to do the bit of cleaning. I'm just pulling this right under the microscope, and then doing that. There's a bit at 10 o'clock. Just like turn it in the light, and you can see where the dirt is. Turn that round. I'm going to really give that a good press. Try not to get my so that's fine. I can do the same with the case. What I want to do is really, you know, hold that up to the light and have a good look at it. Make sure there's absolutely nothing in the back. I'll put it there for safekeeping. I might just go and get my compressed air and give it a bit of a blowout. Here we go, handy air duster. That's what it professes to be. As you see, it does do a little bit of, leaves a little bit of moisture in there. So I then get a really nice lint-free cloth and start the process of removing any moisture that was in the case. We end up polishing front and back, obviously, in doing that. And then I'm just looking through my, through my magnifying glass here and trying to see if there's any dirt anywhere, particularly on the inside. Not a spot. Have another look at the face to see if there's anything got on there. There was a spot, so we get that off. Get my pal's card again. Put that on. And get this on now as quickly as I possibly can, really, just to make sure that nothing gets back in. And I have to say, I'm looking through the magnifying glass at that, and that's spotless. So that's really good. That cock on, as they say. Well done, Manuel. That's marvellous. Thank you for your service. Tip tap. And I'm going to put that over to one side now, because the next little job is obviously to cut the crown down. Yeah, cutting that down is always a bit of fun, a bit of a nervy time, because actually it's difficult. So we want to take about 6 mils off it. You can hear Eggnog, my dog, giving us a little bit of a vocal in the background. Thanks, Eggnog. That's a couple of mil out, isn't it? Going to be using the tape, obviously, to and that's a couple of mil out again, but the other way, so we've over compensated. It's hard, this, isn't it? It's hard. So that is a mil too much, but actually snipping it with the pliers is a bit of an imprecise science itself. So if I can leave a bit showing, if I can leave a mil showing, it actually makes it a bit easier with the pliers. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to mark it right down to the wire, right down to the blue end. These are the pliers, and as you can see, there's a bit of a, there's a bit of a depression in there. So seeing where it's snipping is often just a little bit tricky. So that's leaving maybe a mil. So I'll cut it off. Yeah, there's a mil. That's about what we wanted. I'll just get our little friend the file, and I just want to make sure that there's no ideally you're looking to leave a bit of a dome, but actually what you're really doing is cutting any burrs off, so that it'll go smoothly into the crown. I suppose I could offer it up to the crown first and just double check that before I put any sticky into it. Just see if it goes in nice and easily. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, that's good. Got a nice clean cut, that means. So I'll just I'll just get a little dab of this stuff on the end. That's our effectively crown glue, I suppose. That's nice-ish. I'm going to hold it with the pliers while I just tighten her up nicely. That must be spinning in the... Okay, that's tight in, really tight in. I just take that excess off with my finger, really. That sticky stuff. Not a lot of it. So that's that. I'll fetch the watch back from its adventure over there. I just need to move the movement round very slightly. There it is. That's lined it up. It is a little bit looser than I'd like in the case, that movement. So, moment of truth then is there. That looks pretty good. So that's in winding mode. So we've got plenty of clearance off the crown. It's can we then tighten it right up? Absolutely perfect. Well, that couldn't have gone any better. That's a joy. So what I'll do is I'll just fish that gasket out and I'm going to re-grease it. Oh, I tell you what though, it's in there. It's in there and it's never moved. So it's probably well greased is the answer. I've got a little bit of free gasket grease I could just drop in, but let's just tighten her up. Get her a bit finger tight. And then let's just see. Yeah, we're right against the chapter ring now. That's not moving anywhere. That's lovely, that is. Nearly done. Nearly done. Just give that another little polish off there so you can see that. I shall centre it so you can look at it nicely in the centre of the video. Yeah, very happy with that. So I'll just bang the Milanese strap on, which is there. It's got the old it should have the easy fit lugs spring pins. So I'll go and get those. Okay, so just take those spring pins out. And voila. These are obviously where's my pusher tool? Easy fit, boys. It's an easy fit. All right, that's it. Very good. Do the same with this one. easier. Now, the buckle should always go from 12 o'clock. So the locking bit of the buckle will always go from 12 o'clock. The you know, the bit that you fold goes at 6. That's the general rule. So offer that up to the hole. Tell you what, these are obviously meant to be easier, but just getting your thumb on those is not the easiest job in the world. All right, so that's that one done. Get my thumb on it again. Oh, you bugger. Where's my little tool? There it is. Yeah, I mean, these things are meant to be here for ease, and obviously that's not necessarily 100% the case. Fucking bollocks. Part of the problem is that if you... fucking hell. This would be a lot easier if it was directly underneath my eye, and not on the camera for you, underneath the camera for you. But yeah, I mean, the issue is that the tolerance in the strap means that if you locate the lug in the correct place, you know, into the hole at the end where you're not fiddling, come here, then actually you can't get the strap into that's not in that. Oh, you bugger. What's going on there? Just sort of trying to move that into position, and it's not really... That's definitely all wrong. I can see I can see that the strap's wonky. Or it looks bloody wonky anyway. And it's not coming out. Let's have a look at it from this angle. Does that look wonky to me? It looks wonky, that, doesn't it? I think that's not located, is it? Right, I'm going to have to take that out and try that again. Okay, right, well, it's located now. Can I get it located into that one? Yes, I can. All right. Is that all right? That's not fucking all right, is it? Look at the... Let me just have a look and let me take that out. And see what's going on there, because that just does not look... That does not look right, that doesn't... Might be the... I suppose the way to test this is to put this in. It looks kind of... Doesn't look like it's... No, it's not. That is not... That shouldn't be going in wonky like that. That's weird. That is weird, isn't it? So... Let's just try and get that one actually located. Yeah. As you can see, I can't get it. I actually can't. I can't locate first and push in. Oh, can I? Maybe I can. No, I can't. Just won't fucking do it. You fucking cunt. Fuck my fucking dog. Fucking hell. What a fucking palaver. Just when everything was going really nicely as well. So, okay. Ah. And voila. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Right. One finished article. So I'll take that away and we'll take some nice photos of that and put it on the gallery and etc. There we are. One Captain Willard, or the first Captain Willard. There's another 4 on my shelf to do, so you'll be getting quite a lot of Captain Willard videos. But that was the first. Sayonara for now.